What says Geula? The Geula mindset is a chbamis for everybody. I know what Geula mindset is, but I think the word mindset is a little distracting in that it's not a mindset. Amunah b'tachon and Geula is not an orange cups. Is b'maiser Poel. Amunah is not a passive. The story by me is a parshat matzav ayuma and the story a very hard story. I went along with verstehen what I've always said that we have to take or Satan Torah as the Metzias, not the mindset, as the Metzias. So if you live with that Metzias, so you pick yourself up above the world and you affect the world. The idea of Geula, obviously, by very definition, is above nature. Nature is Golus. Golus is limitations. I guess that's a focus me so strong that even though the Epicenter wants to have Dirib Tachtenim, of the way.
We have not finished minutes to come. There's 7 minutes, so we have time. Okay.
What happened?
Everybody, please mute themselves.
That Dirib Tachtenim means not to work within the confines of nature. Dirib Tachtenim means to work with L'mayla v'derech in Teva. That's the Geula mindset. Chatchila River doesn't mean that you're going within the confines of nature. The Chatchila River means you're working with L'mayla v'derech. These are words, cliche words. When you say this, it means that when you look at, you find a in and Torah. You learn a Maimah, you learn an in and Torah, and Torah tells you this is the way you're supposed to act. And you act in the way, even though the world says as a fit with the chnish, and Torah says yeah, that's a Geula mindset. By all reasons, being in a place called prison to anybody is a terrible limitation, and a terrible mindset of being we got you, we got you. Now you're in our control, and wie meheist v'horaye, meheist stehen stehst du, meheist sitzen sitzt du, meheist tragen. We a whole day are busy bossing you around. So what's a Geula mindset meaning? That even though the goof could be in Golus, but the neshama is not in Golus. So how do you attack and make the neshama not in Golus? Is one way. When it comes to Torah mitzvahs, and when you get up in the morning, you get up with a simcha, you're going out to serve the Epicenter. That's a Geula mindset. You're going to put on tefillin, and if they don't give you tefillin, you fight for it. And if they don't give you kosher essen nicht, and you walk around, you look and do. We're supposed to do. That's the Geula mindset you're talking about. It's not positive thinking. Positive thinking, it's English words that really a little distort what we're trying to say. There's nothing wrong with the statement, other than positive thinking could also be misinterpreted to be with those who maintain that positive thinking has a power in itself within the laws of nature. Maybe that's what it doesn't. I don't know, but who cares about what nature says? We have much. We have keches of an Epicenter. If we connect with the Epicenter, that's the Geula mindset. How am I supposed to look at today, and then act accordingly? If we're told to say something which is not, or do something which the world says is not the right way. What the Rebbe says, what Epicenter says, you find that you do what's supposed to do. You do it. It's just the gay what it goes. So, and that emunah in Hechef and Teva in Teva, that's I think our greatest nisayon is today. We're going through a tremendous nisayon where people are talking about prison, telling you what to do, what not to do. We're going through a lot of advice is coming in from a lot of different places, and we as Shluchim of the Rebbe, we are teachers, and we are charged to be the ones to give the advice, not to allow other people that are not in that position to give the advice. That's the Geula mindset. How do we know what to say? We know what to say because we look into it, and that's what we do. We do a mitzvah. Doing a mitzvah has to be dafka Mesiras Nefesh. Doing the mitzvah, we got so good at explaining. We got so good at explaining what to somebody who has no idea what Yiddishkeit is. That you should do a mitzvah, so we speak directly to Nefesh Habamis. We found words that can even excite Nefesh Habamis, but that's not where it ends. That's not forget about Chassidim or this, because we can explain Nefesh Habamis to verstehen with Mitzvah, because you're gonna have a good time from it, because it's good for you Bugashmis. A mitzvah tut man with a mitzvah nefesh. That's the Geula mindset. A mitzvah tut man that mitzvah that you don't want to do. That avera that you have a hard time staying away from. You have to be meichel somebody, and the Yitzhak tells you all 55 reasons why you shouldn't be meichel somebody. So Yosef teaches you that meichel zayin. And after some is primary, and fighting brings a churban. And there's always a good reason to fight, and that's why it's called sinas chinam, because there's always a good reason, but the reason is always there. So this is this is a Geula mindset. Geula mindset in every facet of life. I was the matzav. I could easily have been angry at a lot of people, and the close ones and far ones. And besides, I could have been angry at this one, that one. If you read the book, my son wrote a book of my story. So he had all the names in there, all the prosecutors, all the judges, and we took them a lot because the idea of a Munda mindset is that it's not the judge or anything, it's not a prosecutor or anything. If you start talking about a judge, you think, oh, if only this guy would have a different judge. And I was told that. I was told that if you had a different judge, then the outcome would have been different. But it's not true. Yid knows. The Munda means that whatever happened until now had to happen. So here we are. We have daily grinds, and we have to take in mitzvahs. We have to bring out from Geula. So you drop all these limitations with Yetzer Hara wants to give you. You have a friend of yours, and you're angry with him at the Bavot. I'm not talking about a Guzma. We're talking about Bavot. So you can take it two ways. You can take it at the Bavot. You can take it that the Avot is onkomen. We all know Chassidus, and but you have to bring it in practice. That's the Geula mindset. Is bringing it that I'm going to think like a Yid, and maybe an Aveda, and it come easy. But at the end of the whole thing, I want to be Michel everybody. Not because that's the Geula mindset, not the Geula mindset. That's the Geula. That's the Geula of Leben. That's why we should live Geula. I think when Mashiach comes, you'll see that the way the end of the Bible had nothing to do with him. But I can't mind Michel say Michel now. And 11th Avishon and Faginian, the guys Matzliach be happy with the Simcha and cry on the sad. And if I can, there's so many stories today. If I can, but I'm bringing the Geula. So that's how I would say that Emunah B'tochen, what the Rebbe always wanted is to live, to know Emunah is not passive. It's not what the Gleibs. The Eibishter doesn't need you to know he exists. He exists with you know, not knowing. Emunah means that Eibishter wants you to know that he's with you, and he gives you keiches to overcome all the challenges that he gives you, and he gives you a challenge, see it that way, and together with the idea that everything until now was a toiv hahelem, so Eibishter wants you to have to be tough, give a toiv nigla, and fakir, look to him when you need. It's not a fundraising options they have to go for. You have to make kelim of the iker hashpos you get from the Eibishter. So focusing more on focusing more on the Geula, Hechef and Teva. Whatever we're all doing is Eretz Hashem. So Eibishter has to give us money, and he does, Baruch Hashem. So focusing there, in the world of B'tochen, the Chas Hashem, you do something which is fear. Or, I mean, you don't know the sichas about Yermation. And the hapech of doing things that Eibishter wants you to do, it impedes on the ability to have the brachas you have. So the Poel mamish, this is taking take now the sicha in this week's parsha about Vayechi. That's why biggest shak is the Galsa Ketz. Yeah. So biggest shak is the Galsa Ketz. The Eibishter, the Rebbe explains that what was the uftu that Yaakov would get from being Megal the Ketz. So there, the Rebbe explains it because you want to tell Yidden that unser Aveda makes a difference. Even though I remember being in a place called prison and people say, well, the judge said there has to be so many years. So I was like, Madach, to have the Eibishter, it makes like Zera, business episode for 400 years. And even through Zochu, can this might and 210 years, Allah has come a boss of a dumb judge who says something. Who says that has to stand? Fakir, you do what the Eibishter wants to do, and then you'll see how the Eibishter will change. It will change the Gezerah. So Eibishter, why did Yaakov Avinu look at this Nekuda? Yaakov Avinu, the Eibishter behalten. Why the Eibishter? Because sometimes the Eibishter doesn't want us to know at the end of the story. The Eibishter wants us to work it through. We go through a hard time, and the Goyishkeit of the world says I go hard times, that I love that we're doing it right. And Teves says, forget, you have the son, you have a hard time, the Eibishter wants a stark Aveda, get through that Aveda and you get to Geula. So I drop a phone to talk about the Geula mentality like this. I have a cousin who used to visit me very often in a place called prison. I used to share with him many times that I learned with them, and I had this matzav, and I fought for this mitzvah. I had different inyanim. I shared with him. I got pumped up and happy. I was able to tell him the different inyanim that I was able to get through. And one time he told me, Sholom Mordecai, stop being so good. So he said, so I said to him, why should I stop being so good? He says, if the Abishah sees that you're handling it so well, so keep you there 27 years. Show the Abishah you can't handle it. You lay down in bed, don't get out of bed, rise up to krochen, to hack, to zets. Then the Abishah you can't handle it. They'll take you out of prison. If you keep on showing, I can slap him good, and I'm shredder matzev, so I'm a chayas, keep on going. It's like for a second, I can tell you for a second, I got a shock. I never chapsach on a fazak going. And then I have this is what we always learning. The Rebbe says, forget if you have the whole thing from the soyin is to be mavali in the tutzes and end with it. So forget, do it right, finish in the tutzes and get out of there. I don't put forget. Ich darf tun, was Eibishter will mir tun. I'm gonna machazeit, weiß das sei. Eibishter put me here, have a soyin. That ich darf tun, ich up on Thomas, darf up tun. That's exactly what happened. All the time, whatever I had to do over there. And after 8 years, they told me, yeah, this is my story. We have to finish what we're doing. Stop cheshbon. Stop machen, we could take it, we can't take it, didn't take it. And it's hard. The bitter, you hear stories every day, and this one's sick. I just spoke much of Shabbos. You have shluchim, the wives are sick, the shluchim are sick. The pain is beyond describable. And how this is happening, nobody understands. So I get that much bigger chance we have to fight. But zusammen with them, we have to know that the Geula is coming. We're promised the Geula is happening today. And that's the way David wants us to think. David wants us to think, I got up every morning in the hardest of times with that gedank. Not looking at whatever the last 8.5 years said. The Geulah is telling me, that's not 1 year, another year, 3rd year, 4th year. So that's a moment that a gamzel Teves. Today in the morning, when David wants me to get up, and Mashiach is coming today, and I'm going home today. That's how I got up. I got up every morning, said to him, I said, you're going to talk. And at the end of the day, the Mashiach didn't come yet. Forget that was the surprise. How didn't come yet? How come I'm still home? I'm still at home. And to finish off, I don't know if everybody's rushing in the middle of the day. I want to finish this thought. I never imagined coming out of prison. I have such a kabbalah problem, such simple. By all even that did know me, don't know me from the Eigen Kreisen, under the Kreisen, and it goes on mamash until today. So you see how I think it's a mimer in Chanukah, in this Pasuk Halayo, and then it talks about how a person's Yechidah Shebenefesh is when a person touches Yechidah Shebenefesh, that it not only touches his own Yechidah, but it touches everybody's Yechidah. Oh, I'm sorry, it's Amar of Asia. It's not that also like when a person who on one side can help on another side by doing a mitzvah. Mesilas nefesh hates is God's chiddush b'nefesh. It's Godless yechida. You give yourself over to do a mitzvah, the mesilas nefesh, and you push away all Tevetic explanations. When it comes to chinuch, when it comes to Avodas Hashem, when it comes to simcha, when it comes to problems nafshiyim, you take your direction from Eibishter, from Torah. So then you get closer to the Eibishter. That's Geula. That's mamish Geula. It's Megali Chiddush B'nefesh. And when your Chiddush B'nefesh is alive, not only you're helping yourself, you're helping your whole community. The Poel are all there to help our communities. You want to how to touch your community. How many people can you talk to? So this Maimer teaches you be Megali Chiddush B'nefesh. You're not only helping yourself, you're helping everybody around you. It's a dover mafli, and it shows you how Eden want to hear emes vart from Munah. Eden want to hear pure verte from Betochen. They don't want to hear all that drush and then drush. They want to hear they find Eibishter, and Eibishter is with you, and Eibishter is good, and Eibishter only wants good for you, and daven to him, and have a tochen in him, and doesn't mehern, and doesn't mechazik Eden. Everybody knows that because that touches Mamash in the Neshama. And that is the experience I had. I never, I never intended to go back into business, but seeing the momentum and seeing what's going on, you see and we're talking about how the Lam Talmuna and the Eibishter is higher than Teva, and we talk about the show half from Teva, and then we have a Geulah Shilaima. Hidalach, als ein alles gut mit Teva, wir gassen Buchen ist, gam Yochad, und Bonne, Chaim, Zerich, und Wichen. Sei gewünscht.
Amen. First of all, Shekech, but if I may, you said something on the Kuda there that if you have another 2 minutes to just.
I have 2 minutes. I don't know if I don't want to the middle of the day. I don't know how it works for you guys.
Yeah, no. Muhammad does. We all came on specifically for David Yisraelis, but you said that part of the Indian of a Geula mindset, or as you said, a Geula Lebensführung is to do everything, and also not only for ourselves, but to be masbid to the Kehillah, that to live in a sense above the teva of the Welt and the Nefesh Bahamis, but to do with the Mesiris Nefesh, I think it's such an incredible nekuda that as you said, that to a certain degree we have now made Yiddishkeit and even mitzvahs behider comfortable. We found the Eisprach, but the Indian is always to push the envelope, to live in a Geulah mindset is, and as you said, not because as the exchange that you had with your cousin, not because of the Zubrachenkeit. Our goal is not to, our Eiskok is that we don't need the Geula because it's such, we're so Zubrachen in Golus, like the Golus, we're victims of Golus. But we're here on purpose. We're here to be Balabatim of Iber Golus. And this so it's from a positive zin, this is the Rebbe's entire Eiskok, that Mashiach because Ad Masai, because it's Azayna Zaytzubrach, but because we're here and Kalu Kalakitzen, we're doing everything, and that's it. We
don't want to.
Got the job done.
Yeah.
No, so another 2 minutes on that Nakud, I think, is because how that Nakud of living.
Okay, so take you want me to talk? I'm sorry. You want 2 minutes on the Nakud is very simple. If you learn, when you make a mitzvah, and again, I think it's something we all learn together. I feel funny talking about these things if it's because it's something that we have all in our way we learn.
Call it Chazara.
Okay, Chazara is good to say. You have doing a mitzvah is not Lashon Tzivi only, it's Lashon Sasha Chibur. Doing Ratzon Hashem. So doing Ratzon Hashem is a lot deeper than doing a command. Ratzon is as a Baal always love to talk about, is Ratzon is the etzem of the person, and when you give your Ratzon over to the Eibishter, you're connecting to the Eibishter as he's higher than the whole Seder Shtalshlus. So what does it mean? When you stay in a matzav, what's on the soyin? And the soyin, which we're all living through right now, is times where the time wants to push you to change. Put it like that. Because everybody has their own notion of how the change happens. In prison, clearly, in the first night, David did me a big favor. The guy tells me, I'm going to change you. That was the biggest favor because I told him, he says, listen, buddy, a lot of things change. It's a Poel that I spoke about it, I speak it all the time. How the Nesoyin Gufa, like Reb talks about the Motzah around Yerushalayim. The Motzah itself was a hint how to avoid the whole Golus sickness by getting Ba'achdus. So he tells me he's going to change me. That clarified to me, like, oh, do you want to change me? But I felt filled with energy. Oh, that's nicht. So the idea is to remain in a matter of Leishanisi, when you want to be Mamshich. The Shechina Lamata of Atzmos. You want to be Mamshech Betelchet Lamata. You want to be Mamshech Yeshua on yourself. You want to be Mamshech Golus. Yeah, Geula has to come from the Maim Seder Shtas. That's what Geula by definition is. Any Seder Shtas is Golus. Even in a matter of good, because it's not Geula. So how do you do it? Because it's just not Tatsu. It's a month for yourself. Anything that comes to change you is right suspect and right away no good because why you before you were doing a mitzvah like this, before you had this hidden mitzvah, before you were able to do the thing, mitzvah you change. Because the guy in prison told you over here it's different. So the idea is saying no, it's not different. In Inyonim Ruchnim and not Nafshim. So that's how when you stand in such a even of Leishonisi, So then the Eibishter acts with you leven for solution. That's the Geula. Geula is obviously a gesagt everybody's looking for, but the word Geula bring the Aleph into the Geula. What's the Aleph? The Aleph the Eibishter, wie es hecht from the ganze Sachen. How do you do it? You can do it very easy. Being in a matzav lishadisi, there's a lot of forces today that want to come and make us change. And the Kluginke, the Rebbe always call them, is it doesn't come with big changes, kleine changes. Any change that tells you, the bite we gain weiter, and when we do like that, then we say it's nefesh. That mitzvah, I keep on saying it over, but that mitzvah every day was a fight. That moment, that mitzvah, that iskafia that you need to do, that the place wants to try to tell you to do differently. Over here we're going to do it like this, and besimcha, and you'll see nor Yeshua, nor it's atzlacha comes from it. Only atzlacha comes from it. That's Geula. That's Geula, and when you live Geula, it's not Geula. The problem is abegate we will nutzen. We want to work in the world within the worldly confines, and then when it doesn't work, the world doesn't agree with the Yiddishkeit, you wonder how come it's not working? Because the world is against Yiddishkeit. What don't you understand? The world can't tolerate Yiddishkeit. The world is akbola. The world at best is a klippus neg, and at the worst it's Yaakov. So we have to be, like I said, Yaakov, we have to work in the world, but not because we're in the world. We work in the world, but we have something with Yaakov hidden a bit, aber nicht was mit untergetändigt. We're not under the confines, and this Nekuda is expresses itself in every part of our daily life, and I guess that's why we meet every week. If you analyze every part where it comes to Ben Adam Chaveri, finish the Ishtay, Ben Over the Bnei Ubitay, how do you talk to a kid? Try it. Talk to your child and talk to him about Yetzatei, talk about Yetzahara, talk to him about the challenges that he has. Is not a human condition. It's a nefesh lekiyas fighting nefesh abamis. Teach him Tanya. So it's not going to stay in Tanya. You understand it more than you understand. Wester Zen dafke damals wird sein zufrieden. And if he says something really stupid, then tell him it's come for you to hear. You don't have to agree with him. He says something dumb. You have to call him stupid. But he says something was right. Identify as right. And you could do it in a way that Eibishter wants you'll see it works every time, all the time. My family went through the same matzav I went through in a different nusach. I was inside or outside, but everybody was going through a pain of separation. And Baruch Hashem, the way we got through it was this Geula, Amunah B'tachon. Amunah B'tachon is Geula. Understanding of what was happening to us is not anything other than the Eibush that's put on the soil. That's the word over here. That's true. Aber if the truth jetzt, you have to sense in the soil, and the soil is not meant to break you, and the soil is meant you should break the soil. And how do you break the soil? By getting closer to the Eibush, the house, to the mitzvahs. It all comes together, and it can't be the mitzvahs was angevent because that's what we do. It's comfortable. That mitzvah is not comfortable. Show the Eibush that you'll go out of your confines to do what he wants, and he'll go out of his confines to do what you want. As it says right in the Shabbat, talking like that. So this is what you say, Geula mindset. It's Geula approach. I say in English, and you're gonna not outsmart and therefore I gotta find how to outsmart the Eibishter. You know, like I'm in a tight spot. I'll show the Eibishter I can't take it, and the Eibishter have to come my way. Do what the Eibishter wants. The Eibishter wants more for you better than you think. Do what the Eibishter wants. So then you have the Tevenir vinegar also. And as much as important as to accept the Geula mindset that you want to call it, the same way you have to remember in Tanya, it says how do you a tzaddik? How do you know if a tzaddik? How do you define a tzaddik? Yeah, you by seeing a bismos bara. In other words, how do you know if you got to the level of a certain madrega? Sometimes the level itself you can't see it. Sometimes you can see from the hepech. How glamorized are you with Teva? Or do you? I heard a good word Shabbos. Somebody has a very schmack. When somebody asks you, it's raining. How does it rain? Why is it raining? If you're how does it rain? So if you said the rains, maybe she wants it to rain. How's the Ebrish to make it divine? Oh, water evaporates and gets the clouds and it rains. How do you on it? Okay, that's what I thought maybe I could elaborate on that in the Kuda, and that's negate to our chinuch, it's negate to ourselves, negate to our simcha. It's every answer you want in life, host in Torah. At least I can attest to it myself. That's where I found it. I found it in the darkest of places. I had it before also in the hardest of times. There's no reason to go anywhere else. No reason. It's hapach. It's anti. It works against you to go anywhere else because it's not talking to you. You have to know you have an neshama. Why can you be Geula? How does a person living in the world of limitations have the chutzpah to want to have Geula? And the answer is because I have a neshama. That's the real answer. Be'etzem we are a Geula. Be'etzem we have a Geula to ourselves, and the way we bring that out is dafka through Torah mitzvahs. And anything other is yeah. The Rebbe once added by verbringen. He says, but you have to be careful. Like accepting worldly ideas, and you think to yourself, what's the damage? You accept an idea that's inherently a Golus mentality, and then you wonder why your mentality doesn't work so well. Okay, I hope I added something to the Chevra. Keep on going, I'm at Shliach. And
Shkoyach.
I haven't seen you in Shalim.
Amen. Thank you, Reb Sholom Mordecai. Thank you for giving me the time.
I give you a ton. No problem. Anytime.
And
I give you a ton.
Take the word. It's no Hedzechain. The Yetzim 11, not only but for somebody upon the Sayin, somebody who lived the Veta that we all know, only makes the words even stronger. And obviously also with the perspective that for us, for all of us, we may know it on the paper, but to hear it from somebody who lived in 3 dimensions, that helps us understand that Azay left Echet in a different signin as gesagt. But we have to apply apply the rules to the road in this case as well. And I think that's why after to these
there's a famous moment in the Fabring, and you hear the Rebbe saying, Tam Huru, Kitei Vashem, Versuch, was to sein, at the Eibische gut. Remember that one?
Yeah.
Tam Huru, was to sein, I mean, that doesn't advise it. Okay, sage Bersiden.
Thank you very, very much. All right, I guess just Altz Inyan to doing this officially. We'll transition from the Divrei Seirus to the Divrei Poel. We have ask Shloime Naparstek from the Yeshiv Reish of Tut Altz to take us and give us the clarity of Avulas Halt and how we can be because that's the whole. This Nakuda is exactly what Tut Altz is. You can hear from Reb Sholom Mordecai, or you can read it in the Veta of the Rebbe, and it's been Shulchan Aruch Mucham L'Suda in the Tut Altz Chaimer for us and to fellow Shulchim and to the ganze Welt. So, good point, Shloime. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Rabbi Sadi Gazinski. It's such a show that Sholom Mordecai already left. I wanted him to say this following story in his own words. It's a story I heard from him numerous times. And it's a story that encapsulates exactly the campaign that's happening right now. Started recently and will be going on to the Afnissen. When he first came to prison, they wanted to take away his yarmulke and tzitzis, famous story. And he told them, I can't take it off. And they beat him up. And one of the things that the guard told him is that, buddy, things are going to change for you from tonight on. And it was the darkest night of his life, and he's lying, beaten, and tied in a solitary confinement. And the words, buddy, things are going to change for you tonight. They're resonating in his mind. And he realizes that those words are straight from the Yetzer Hara. Things are going to change. And that's when he makes a resolution that he's not going to change one iota when it comes to Nyani Neshama throughout his ordeal. Fast forward a few months on his first Hanukkah. This is still in jail, not in prison. And the Aleph Institute had arranged that he should have a Hanukkah menorah and be able to sit by the licht all 8 nights of Hanukkah. But remembering his achlata that nothing's going to change, he requested from the Aleph Institute that he be able to use shemen, because the minig is to use shemen, and he doesn't want to use those candles. Besides for those candles that are very short, that don't really last a half hour. They told him that we will try, but not. In the end, they were able to do it for him, for a fellow chassid, and get him permission to light shemen. But it was after a major fight, especially because the warden claimed that it was a fire hazard, and the prison can burn down. Or, prison made out of concrete and steel, and they were afraid it was going to burn down. But they gave him a fireproof room that he'd be able to light his menorah. Comes the first night of Hanukkah, and he comes to this room, and he's about to light the menorah. He has 2 guards watching him, and he looks over. There's a little partition on the other end of the room, and he sees there's a toilet. So he says, Oy vey, he can't light a Hanukkah menorah in the toilet. And it starts coming through his head, all the hetatim. Maybe it's a toilet, it's not a problem, and it is a partition. And he decided, he remembers his achlata. Nothing's going to change. He wouldn't do this at home. He's not going to do it here. So he tells the guy that I can't light the menorah here. So the man says, why not? He says, I'm about to say the name of God. Do you think it's respectful to say the name of God in front of a toilet? And the guy understood. It was a gamble. He could have lost his right to light menorah for the next 8 nights for sure. He could have been thrown right back in. Guards don't like when people make changes. Guards don't like when people talk back to them. Guards don't like when people make extra requests. They're not interested. But it was a miracle. The person said, okay, where should we do it? So he said, let's do it in the lunchroom. I noticed the lunchroom was also made out of steel and concrete. It's the same. And the man said, okay. They're walking down the hallway, and Sholom Mordecai says he's thinking that maybe he can go even further in his requests. He already gets emboldened. He says, can I have permission? Can I have permission to, my thing's a little choppy. Hold on a second.
Now it's not a little choppy.
And the Chabad, and there's halacha, and this and that, and the guy's not really understanding. So the guy lets out from his mouth, he says, what do you do at home? Like in a frustrated tone. So Sholom Mordecai says, oh, at home I sit for 3.5 hours and we sing songs and play dreidel. And so the man says, whatever you do at home, you do here. And for him, it was like exactly like the story with the Toldos and the Baal Shem Tov, where the Shechina's Medaberes in the Seich, the Gurin of the Goy, he gets a message from the Eibishter because he took that achlata that nothing's going to change, not one iota, kalak v'chamura in this place when it comes to Yinyan Neshama. The Eibishter's telling him, whatever you do home, we do here. And this encapsulates exactly what this campaign's about. Because we can never forget for a moment that we are in prison as well. We're not home. We're not home. And being so close to the time when we're going to be home, it is an imperative upon us, as Chassidim, and indeed the entire Dar, to take this sentence and have it before our eyes at every step of the way. Whatever you do home, do here. It's not just enough to hope for the time of Geula. It's not just enough to do everything we can in action to bring upon the Geula. We have to live the Geula even before it comes. And this is the distinct call, the unique call from the Rebbe to adopt a Mashiach mindset, as we're calling it. What this campaign promises to do is at least abyssal, at least a few pieces of what it means to live with the Mashiach mindset is going to be delivered in the most appealing and professional manner. To that end, there's 6 segments, 2 of them which are already out, and the third one by the end of this week, B'ezras Hashem. 6 segments based off of 6 major sikhs in Tafshinun Beis, which teach a person, if he applies himself, if Yitaka applies himself, it teaches a person how to adopt another element in life with a Mashiach mindset. And it's not with the slogans, and it's not with the with songs, and it's really applying themselves. In other words, it's a real limud, it's a real experience. There's takeaways, there's background, there's examples, there's an entire experience in a booklet for a person to really adopt a piece of the Mashiach mindset. And the question is, us on this call who are making that effort, right, to come over here, and we're gathering together to implement what the Rebbe really wants from us. And I know that there's a big ratzon for the members of Minatzchim to promote and to further the work that we're doing here in the Mashiach Havas. So what each of us can do is to bring our fellow Chassidim to the waters. The waters are there. The waters are clear. The waters are appealing, professional, all there. Now it's upon us to put that step forward and bring our fellow Chassidim to the waters. And what I'm suggesting is like this. The most powerful thing that we can do is make local, regional gatherings, whether it's shluchim with fellow shluchim in the area, or you're living in a Nash community, it's a Nashan area, make a monthly local gathering where we gather together and we take the chaymer and we have a learning and perhaps a farbrengen on this topic. The waters are there. I can't state this more clearly enough. The chaymer is there. It's beautiful. It's there. It's set up. Now let's bring ourselves and our fellow Chassidim to the water. It's really a small ask compared to what we're trying to get to. We're all trying to influence ourselves and influence our surroundings with the Mashiach mindset. We're all trying to find the ACS. We're all trying to see what we can do. We're all trying to create enthusiasm. We're all trying to do all these things, but here it's ready for you. You have it ready for you. The work's already been done. The only thing that's missing is to bring our fellow Chassidim to the water. And therefore, I suggest that everyone here take a hachlata. And it's a small hachlata. It's not, I know there's been a push for people to try to get communities, try to get people, try to get community members, try to get community liaisons. Here is a simple hachlata, that everyone over here look at themselves as an etzig for their own area. Simple as that, for their own area. And this means that right now, you go on to tutaltz.com/local. And over there's a form, and you fill out the form, and you're registering your local area. For I would like if people would get onto the mic after and maybe give examples of what their local area would look like. But I know for some people it means that the young shluchim in their area. For some people it means the 5-6 shluchim in their area. For some people it means their shul. For some people it means their class shul. For some people it means their local Sunday morning kollel that they learn in with fellow balabatim. For some people it means their brothers and brothers-in-law over Zoom. This can mean different things to different people. To define local is I don't want to, because it could be defined in many different ways. But the idea is that you decide that you're going to make for the next 4 months a monthly gathering with your local chassidim to learn this together. We don't promise is bli neder, but the promise, as much as then, hello, yeah. If your appliers of doing this, we can be assured that there's going to be a tremendous koch, a complete mind shift, and a refreshing look on the Indian. And I want to get very particular. The next segment is going to be based off Shmais Tafshinun Beis. It's a absolutely phenomenal landmark mind shifting sicha on how to transcend, how to put a Golus and Geula reality in the same pot, how to walk outside with a Mashiach mindset without denying a Golus. So it's a fresh look at Shmais Tavshinun Beis, and in particular has a very deep connection to Yud Shvat, and therefore Tut Altz is announcing, starting from Mitzvah from tomorrow, from Yud Teves, we're announcing a global Hachana Yud Shvat. Baruch Hashem, we have seminaries, we have yeshivas. This is not going to really be in this space. It's not your space, really. I'm just giving you a little bit of picture. Already close to 45 schools on the kids curriculum, already 10 yeshivas and going to 60 yeshivas, adapting the adults curriculum. Seminaries, which is using the adults curriculum, is 15 seminaries. And we want to get to 120 Anash communities that are taking part in this global Hachana Liyut Shvat, taking this material from segment 3 of Tut Altz as a preparation for Yud Shvat. It's a chaymer that's connected to Yud Shvat, and they're going to be making a monthly, just one, a gathering with their local. Again, the definition of local could be 50 people, could be 100 people, like some places had time around, could be 5 people, could be 3 people. I know a shliach, a Tyre shliach in a very, very far place off in Europe. He has one shliach in his area, and they make their local gathering. It actually ends up being a chavrusa because that's their local gathering, right? It's cute and it's heartwarming. They're making their local gathering. The point is they make a point to join this global effort. All of us living in places that are a lot more to them, our local gatherings could look a lot more like much more than just a chavrusa. It could be a chabura, could be a evening with a chavrusa learning. But the step that we're all going to take today to try and adopt a Mashiach mindset ourselves, and for Chassidim around us, bring our friends to the water, is going to be going on tutaltz.com/local, registering yourself as whatever local means to you, and we are going upward from our 15 communities we have so far. By today, we want to double that. And by the end of the month, have 121 communities to give to the Rebbe that are learning this inyanim chana for Yud Shvat, and I'm sure people are going to love it. We all know how it works. You taste it once, you want more, and then the months afterwards, leading up to Yud Alf Nisan, they'll do segment 4, 5, and 6.
Shloime, let me ask you a question because I'm sure there's a lot of this is going to be negeh. What happens if, first of all, really, Divrei Seirus and Poel Mamish? So you're an excellent fabric. For if you're starting now, does it make sense to start from Shmais? In other words, is it in a flow, or can we start from Shmais and then find another time to go back to the earlier two?
They each one of them is standalone completely. Each one is standalone completely. You will have a little bit in the beginning, a little summary of the first two, because they do connect as well. So they have both advantages, but they can be started from here, and then you can always do the other two at a different time.
And the chaymer is available on the website.
Okay, the chaymer is available on the website for free, and it's available for cost price on to buy on the website. There's an option to buy it for cost price. It's just that due to Corona, shipping is very much delayed. So a lot of people are opting for this time around to go for online download and print themselves. But yes, there is an option to have a beautiful booklet for printed and shipped when it does come, on the website for cost price. Those bulk orders or in Crown Heights, where we don't have to ship, obviously be reduced. Be in touch with us. Be in touch with info@tutaltz.com, admin@tutaltz.com, or on the websites, the question box over there, and we'll accommodate you accordingly, of course.
Is there or will there be any version or Chaimer available in Hebrew?
Oh, another thing is
You just went on mute again.
I'm sorry. Another thing is I see people are writing in the. Hold on a second. Sorry, I'm just I'm doing a few things, but the other thing is people are writing in the chat. I'm going to take on the three groups. I strongly request that you register. It's no cost to register, but that you're in our system so that our staff could be in touch with you. You'll be able to get flyers that are customizable very easily. You'll be able to get different resources and assistance to make your thing, make your local gathering very as professional as possible. So I really request that you do register online.
Shloime, somebody asked about Lashon Kodesh. Shloime Naparstek, somebody asked about Lashon Kodesh.
Yeah, we Baruch Hashem, we're going to have the next segment available in Lashon Kodesh due to popular demand, and also due to popular demand, I may add over here that the KISS curriculum is also being translated to Lashon Kodesh. The KISS curriculum also, segment 3 is going to be Achana L'Yishvat. It's very good to do with your kids. Another idea people have is to do Avos Abanim, to learn with Avos Abanim. I'm just putting it out there, a plug for the KISS curriculum. Yet we're going to have Lashon Kodesh segment 3 in Hashem, but segment 2 and 1, due to the fact that it was only done due to popular demand, is going to be a little of a lag. So if you go on the website, you're only going to see it in English. They're violent, but we will Hashem have them all in Hebrew in due time.
So when is segment 3 in Lashon Kodesh expected to be ready?
It's a good question. I don't know the answer to that, but I'll try to find out.
Good.
Shloime, to register, when you go on the website, it's 2 clicks away. You go local, and then you pick what community style you're going to do, and then you register in the bottom. It says here communities and women's groups. Communities means stam, like a regular Chabad house?
Community means your local shluchim or your anash community. Very few Chabad houses will be able to make a community event out of this chaimer because it's not really geared for people who are not so connected. But I would also say that every Chabad house definitely has 1 or 2 people who would benefit from this chaimer. So I don't know if you can make a community event out of this, but definitely can make a learning with community members. When it comes to Chabad houses, communities on the site by definition means anash communities or your local shluchim in the area. Now, women's groups is a separate thing. They have that option. The reason why it's a separate sign up is because there's a separate flyer for women's groups with a separate branding, separate colors. It's just for logistical reasons. Women's groups are kept as a little bit different, but it's the same concept. It's your local Neshei Chabad. It's your local class monthly learning for some girls. It's the same concept. It's whether you get together regularly or you're going to now get together monthly, you can use this chaimer for this gathering. In addition, there are women online for bring-ins that we have, which are not good for men, obviously. So we'll have the separate marketing for women. But if you're going on right now, I'm assuming you're doing something for men. So that's just, you click Anash community or Shul. That's what you click.
Sandy, do I have permission to speak?
More than permission.
I was speaking to Yud 11. He was on before. I'm not sure why he went off. So first of all, he said the Baal Batim are going crazy from this curriculum. So I have to disagree that it's made for everyone. You might have to work a bit to put some more wording and more. I think it's, if the shliach understands it himself, he can give it over, in his words, to anyone, any person. Anoshim noshim betaf. I must disagree on you on that. So I think.
So I want to agree with you. I want to agree with you that when you frame it in this way, I want to say there's a shtech in Atlanta that called me up and said he gave his Shabbos drasha on the curriculum. So 100%, I do agree with you. If it's going to be, if the shtech acquires it as his own and uses this as a class, could be taught to anybody. Bechavrusa, in the booklet, you may want to look at it first to see if the guy's shaykh to the l'shenis in the booklet.
So the wording says, say adrabah, say it's for everyone. If you want to make it the wording, okay, it's not specifically the exact English. What I call, but for the shliach, you can give it over as a shir and as a chavrusa, no problem. You can teach it to thousands of millions of people. Another thing we were discussing, he called me, when was it? It was a week ago. So he was saying the Baal Batim said maybe get the Baal Batim saying how great and the impact it has on them, a 20-second thing, and let that go viral.
If anybody has a balabas that can speak, we're ready to put together a video.
Yeah,
please.
You have so many people their way and their words. What does it mean? You ask them a question. What does it mean? They can say their own story. What I mean, what effect that had on them. So that can be an unbelievable thing. Besides having just as a sheer, like you mentioned, to have some sheer, I think it's more powerful when you see people in Baal Batim, Amcha, anyone that the effect that it's having on them. It's unbelievable. I think that can go by having even a double effect.
Okay, anybody has a balabas like this? Please PM me.
So not Reuven. So Yehuda Levin has people. Talk to him. Give him a call. You have his number. I have his number if you need. Tell him to do it, and he just has to be reminded.
No. Shloime definitely has his number. But I want to tell you, multitasking over here. I Devila registered twice. One for the greater Washington area, greater Washington DC area shluchim, and one because I was just inspired by Baron Isaac for the Chabad of Bethesda community, and I'll figure out the Eisprach. I'll find a way to say it. I would love to sit them down if I can't use this Ben Kessel Aser here between Asar B'Teves and Yud Shvat to make this Nakuda. We're coming from Asar B'Teves, and comes to mind the story of Avram Levitansky Olav Shalom. He would always say, if you ever spent a summer by him as a counselor, it's a special schus. But he will lead into Kinnis by telling a story about a Zayd that was already in the United States, lived in the rural area outside of Chicago, and he was once walking down the street, and he sees a cluster of the farmers. They're all together, and he sees they're all talking to each other. He comes over and he hears what's going on. He says, Johnny, poor Johnny, his farm is burning down over there, his barn or whatever it is burning down. We're so sorry for Johnny. They're all sitting there, and they're lamenting the Johnny's farm. So Zayd turned to all of them and he said in his Yiddish accent, he says, I'm shadi for Johnny $5. How shadi are all of you? And I was like, don't be sorry, do something about it. And he says, so the kinnis, we can either sit there and oivei, or what he does in his shul, his oisvier is he's auctioning off the kinnis. Give money to the Beis Chabad and we won't say the kinnis. And only somebody like Rabbi Avram Levitansky could have such plates as him, and the Eibush there on better terms than the rest of us. But the bottom line is that it would do this. It says more than the Eibishter wants your just your tears or whatever it is, do something. And so, Sarah Teves, what better way to turn to your Kehillah after you're going to do something or draw attention to what a Sarah Teves is, and fear ice. It says now it's time to do something about it, because there's from this day to the 10th of Shvat is right there is the high point to blend Der Shvi with the historical moment of change that is necessary. We're standing up to the moment, and we're going to learn this, and we're going to learn how to live in this mindset. So, Fakert, this is a Shas HaKosher to find the Eisprach for your kehillah to teach the sikha, this sikha befrat, this is a shmais, which is about the Geula and Geula, the Geula in the Geula, marrying these two worlds. I think it would be eye opening to the kehillas, and should definitely be something that everybody does. And again, learn it through first, and then find the Eisprach for your kehillah.